Oh, for the love of I don't know what. Hey, everyone. We're kicking off Command Your Morning on a Friday. With Karen's favorite 80s mixtape. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's Command Your Morning. I'm Nick Baldwin, regional tech trainer for Michigan and Northern Ohio. And that's Caryn Prohl. I don't really know much about her, but it's weird. She just shows up. Caryn, tell everyone who you are just to remind them what's
I am less than you, but we can talk about how the other day a vendor was trying to do business with me, and he was so proud that he knew you and that he was potentially doing business with you. And I think he was name dropping Nick Baldwin because you're kind of a big deal. And then I go, oh yeah. And he goes, do you know Lab Coat? Yeah. Do you know? Yeah, Nick Baldwin. I'm like, oh really?
Well,
and I let him talk, and I was like, that's amazing. He's one of my best friends.
Can I
And the
tell you
guy's
something funny?
face was like,
Can I tell you something funny, though?
yeah.
Because now the cat is out of the bag. Everyone knows that I do not have many leather-bound books, and I don't have bookcases made of rich mahogany. It is an IKEA bookcase with just regular books. So I'm not that big of a deal. Everyone knows now.
Well, I just want you to know, Nick, that because you shamed me about what I didn't have, is now I have this.
Yes, Tools of Titans, fantastic book. By the way, if you haven't read it, we've been talking about it basically for the last 7 or 8 months, it seems like, because Tim Ferriss is a genius. If you've read 4 Hour Work Week, it's basically like my whole life. Basically, it's about automating everything and outsourcing everything, so you basically never have to work. But I love it, and that book is just like an accumulation of his best interviews from his podcast. And it's not like a cover to cover. Like you can read it's like 3 or 4 pages each, and pick one up and read one in the morning and get some insights to some, success.
Don't you find it interesting that you do podcasts because we're digital electronic, but then you write a book about podcast interviews?
But I think sometimes, yeah, but I think, he pulls out all the nuggets, right? From like
Wouldn't that just be a shortened podcast though? Wouldn't you just like make a podcast about the best interviews?
Yeah, but I don't know. Did you listen to the one with Gary Keller?
From him?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, I mean, it was like 17 hours long because, Gary has a whole thing. He talks about a whole thing. Yes. But no, but it's great. Like a lot of it is very insightful. But can I tell you something? Because we have a guest on today. He's not going to come on yet in a minute. So Greg, just sit tight. But I'm going through this. I'm going through this time of reading books that like aren't books that teach you how to get better in life. You know what I mean? Like I want to read about things. Like I got this book that I'm going to start reading called No Filter, the inside story of, the inside story of Instagram. By the way, it's supposed to be fantastic. I'm excited to read that.
My name is Nick Baldwin and Caryn Prohl, and we'll say whatever we want.
I read this. I'll Be There for You. It's it's called The One About Friends. It's a whole book about the show Friends and how it came to be and everything that went on behind the scenes. And it's good. It's not tabloid. It's just it's a lot of fun, right? And it talks about how like if Friends came on today, if Friends debuted today, oh my gosh, it would be boycotted and it would be so unpolitically correct. And but in the late 90s, when it debuted, there wasn't really social media and people didn't, it was just a different time. Like you couldn't make the same show. You know what I mean?
Well, that's called eras.
Called what?
Eras, like there was a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, you know what? Stop impressing me with your SAT words. It's 8:30 in the morning. We know you're smarter than me. Just relax.
I'm not smarter because you have way more books than me. And I'm reading, I reread Jessica Simpson's autobiography because it was excellent. Like, I am not kidding. She will impress
This is a great book by Jeb Blount. He's the writer of Fanatical Prospecting. Look at all the tabs.
Is this a book club morning show?
All right, you know what? Forget it. We just got canceled. All right, Caryn, so what's going on? How's your day going so far?
It's really good. I'm supposed to be driving to Oklahoma today. Later today so I can see my husband, but I don't know. It's a long drive right now, so I'm not looking forward
You're
to
like,
it.
like Joel, you're like, "Ugh, I just want to stay home and watch Netflix and eat mac and cheese like last weekend."
Right. And God, you have a good memory. And I do have a nail appointment in Oklahoma tomorrow at 3 o'clock because nail salons are open.
By the way, might I add that I do have a good memory, and it's funny because half the time when you talk to me, you think I'm not listening, but I really am.
Yeah, we have another friend that doesn't listen.
Who? Oh, yeah, we don't want to talk about it.
No.
Listen, that's on that we don't talk about that.
Okay, but let's talk. How was your son's birthday?
Oh, Gus turned 5. It was Jenny Wolek says, Oklahoma, come see us. So maybe you have to go now because Jenny wants to see you.
Because of Jenny.
My son turned 5, my son Gus, and it was super fun. And I mean, he doesn't know any better. He doesn't remember what his last birthday parties were. So, we did the thing. We were outside, we had all the balloons and the signs, and then all our family and friends drove by in the cars. And, we were having, it's a great activity for kids and it's social distancing, Nerf wars. Because you're all running around and you're like 20 feet away from each other anyway. So like my nephews came over and we gave them Nerf guns, and like we can't, we're running around trying to shoot each other with Nerf guns, and nobody wants to get close because you don't want to get shot. So that was actually a lot of fun for my kids to play with their nephews in Nerf wars. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of activities we have to rethink, huh?
Yeah, listen, I'm a social distancer by nature. So this is fine. This is fine. Hey, so what's going on with you? Anything new this week?
No, we had Red Day yesterday.
Oh, how'd Red Day go?
It was great. It was great. We all locations serve frontline workers, so either grocery workers, like people the forgotten ones in the front lines. And so all of our market centers raised thousands and thousands of dollars. We bought lunches from local restaurants, some that our agents own. So that was great. And it was a great experience for people.
I think that's really great because we forget about the grocery store workers, and it makes me sad because like in my town, like I think 4 or 5 Kroger employees like died of COVID. And it's like, listen, these people are making like $6-7 an hour and like they're dying of COVID. Stay the frick home and put on a freaking mask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who's gonna go get a job at a grocery store and think they're gonna die from it? Seriously, like right. Have some respect. But so that's cool that you did that. And I saw this thing online yesterday that Shannon Dager, who's the RTT regional tech trainer of the Ohio Valley region, she shared with me. It was I forget the website, but they created this website where you go online and there's a bunch of, they had all the KW regions listed and you can choose your region, and agents voted to have their favorite local businesses added to this website. So when you go to the region, you click on it and you see your favorite local business, then you can click review on Yelp, and then it takes you right to their Yelp profile and you can leave them a really positive review. I thought that was super cool. So I posted that around. It's like doing some digital Red Day stuff and just showing love to businesses that might be
brilliant
right now is a lot of fun. Hey, all right. So listen, I want to bring on our super powered, incredibly massive, ginormous, huge. I mean, the words just, I'm running out of them.
I agree. Magnanimous.
Yeah, magnanimous. Let's bring on Greg Erlanger. Greg, welcome to the crazy Nick and Caryn Commander. Greg, awesome. I can't believe Greg's here. I mean, he is such an amazing, massively important agent.
Sharp,
Greg's one of 2 rainmakers for the Easy Sales team. They're based in Ohio. But
that's all you had to say. It's like the biggest team in Ohio.
Well, not just, they're like one of the biggest teams in our company.
I know, but like obviously I know them, and I'm in Chicago and I know who they are.
Well, like, how do you not know who Greg is?
I'm a Buckeye.
Oh, Greg's here. Greg, why don't you introduce yourself? Hey, Greg, how's it going?
No, I like you guys keep going. I'm just going to sit here and just pour it on. This is fun.
Greg.
Is this all we do here?
We're not worthy, Greg. And Greg's business partner, Mike Zinicola, he's awesome too. And they have a fantastic team. And I went to visit them a couple months ago before I wasn't allowed to leave my house. And they have a cool, they're at KW Citywide. So Greg, tell us, say hi to everyone.
Hello, I'm very excited to be here. I'm not excited to follow CC Underwood, but I'm excited to be here now.
Dude, nobody wants to follow CC. She kind of like ruined it for everyone else going forward.
She set the bar pretty high.
Everyone's saying like, I want to be besties with CC now.
I know.
I have
I
teachers.
friended her.
You friended. Well, maybe she'll accept your friend request. It'll probably take like 7 months. Like, when you friend request someone who you like love and adore, and then they don't accept it for like months. It's so funny. All right, so Greg, tell us about Easy Sales Team.
Easy Sales Team. So we've got 140 agents. We're in Ohio. We just did an expansion office in Philly. We have 5 offices in Ohio. So we've got 3 in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, and did 209 million last year and 1,100 units plus.
Just 2 million. Like, it's bigger than most KW offices or real estate offices for that matter.
Yeah, but KW provided the platform in order for us to do that. So it's all credit there. We just took what they gave us and ran with it as fast as hard as we could.
That's awesome.
What I love about Greg, I'm just gonna give Greg a little compliment. Greg, like, here's the funny thing, like, not the funny thing, but these mega agents, right? That a lot of agents and companies look up to them and look up to people like Greg. And the thing I love about Greg is that you're super humble, dude. Like, Greg will have conversations and we'll email and he'll text, and he's just like, he just wants to help. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so cool about him. So I appreciate that. And Greg, the idea of this show is just kind of talking about what successful people and leaders in our company are doing, especially in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in the morning. So you have kids at home, right? You have littler kids or smaller.
Yeah, 8-year-old son. Yep. Okay,
and so I have a 7-year-old. He's going to be 8 in a couple of weeks. What's your morning look like? When do you wake up? What do you do? Do you have a routine?
Yeah. So, and I like to kind of talk about the routine that I had for work. And then when COVID rolled around, I basically just stayed in rhythm. And I like the fact I kept all my habits because I was kind of doing okay before it. So I decided to keep every habit that was either good or bad, which is kind of probably a funny twist on things. But if I eat chocolate at 3:00, I still eat chocolate at 3:00. Like, it's just a thing. Like, when you start crashing off that gives me enough sugar to get till after hours, and then I can be a slug after work, kind of thing. But so my morning, I think, I pray, and then beyond that, the first thing, my eyes open up and it's like boom, boom, 2 things, that, and then I focus on what things can I do today that will make me go to bed and not be mad at myself tonight? Like, what will move the ball forward is my first question to myself. What exactly is it? And then if I go to bed, I'll remember what those things were. It's typically only about 3 or 4 things. But if I get 2 of the 4, I'm usually happy, as long as those are big rocks that I'm moving. So now I'm going to smile because I think you're taking a picture.
I am taking a picture, but pretend I'm not, Greg. Pretend I'm not.
Don't we all hate that they always screen capture the wrong?
We can smile like we're all smiling. Okay, keep going.
All right. So I'd say, honestly, if I were to like kind of share anything, that has been the most important thing for me, is just really being honest with yourself and saying, what big things can I move at the end of the day? All the other stuff is fodder and static and white noise, but those things have to be done. If I get those done and I go to bed, my team's happy, I'm happy, family's happy, whatever those are, I know that they're important enough to get them done. They're the things that make you a little bit feeling guilty and stuff the night before, or you wish you would have got to it, and say, that's it. That's the only thing I'm going to do today.
Today, what would those have been?
Okay. I've got, I'm working on,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just curious.
No, I can answer that. This was number 1. So, if I accomplish this without, as I told Nick, drooling, I'll be really excited. And it took me about an hour to get my hair, because remember, we're about 60 days into this. And short on the sides because I did it myself. But no, I'm not going to turn around and show you how I did. So I'm good at a lot of things, but that's not one of them, apparently. But yeah, so today the big thing is with our Philly expansion, they're non-essential still. But we strategize, we've got an idea, and I'm putting together a COVID-19 sales plan virtual. They are not allowed to leave the house and sell houses. And we had a sort of an aha moment, which I wish we would have had a while ago. But we said, well, what are other people doing? And somebody in our group there said there are people selling houses. We're like, time out, how'd they do that? And so there was that crack of opportunity shame on me for not being in communication with them enough to know, me or Mike, let's blame us both. We both get credit. We both get the blame. We should have been in better communication to understand that, yes, indeed, they can sell houses. People are selling houses without walking out of their door, and now they're not even allowed to put yard signs in the ground, and people are selling houses. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, if they can, we can. I don't care if it's one, but we will. And then, part of
I love that, first of all, like because you have to lead these multiple teams. And I just want to point out that, instead of thinking about, we can't leave the house, you're just basically like, I don't care if all we sell is one house, we're going to do it. That's right. A great way. That's just like, a great mindset to, set the tone for all of your teams.
Well, we have a new theme in our Philly expansion team, which is the Easy Home Network. That's the name of that team out there. And it's actually #coconut. So it's a long way to get there. But basically what we talked about, our analogy, which is a really horrible one, I'm going to share with everyone. If you've been trained by the greatest military fighter jet pilots in the world, how to fly the most sophisticated fighter jet in the world, that gives you a set of skills that are just fantastic. When that plane crashes, you swim to the island, deserted island, and all that's there is a coconut. You better figure out how to be the best with a coconut. And that's pretty much where Philly is right now. They've got to figure out how to make that coconut work. And that actually goes back to Gary Keller. And we were fortunate enough to have a mastermind. Cece talked about it with Keith Cunningham, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And Keith talked about, and Keith and Gary talked about, everyone's waiting for the normal to come back or that next thing to come. And their whole focus was, it's now. Like, whatever you have today on this day, that is the day that you have to work with. And if you wait, it's all going to be left behind. There's nothing coming back. What you think was there is not coming back. So other than the drive-in movie theaters, they once were, and now it seems like they're coming back. But other than drive-in movie theaters, you got to work with what you have today. And that's where #coconut comes for our Philly team.
Hey, Greg, there was a quote I wrote down from Gary's mastermind that I think about every day, is what sabotages reinvention is an attachment to the way it used to look.
Ooh, yeah, that's a much more sophisticated way.
Well, I had to tell my notes from the mastermind, but it is because people, I did a Zoom mastermind with some Philly offices, and I'm like, well, we can't sell either, but they're still selling. And if we listen to the one person that says, it looks like authoritarian, that says, yeah, you can't sell houses, and that's all we hear because that's all we want to hear, what's the other side of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to just mention that, like, when all this kind of went down, it was like the snap of a finger. And I noticed that Easy Sales just really pivoted really fast. Like, I think a couple of days after shelter in place, at least here in Michigan, but you're in Ohio. Ohio's kind of always been essential, right? But yeah, even though you're essential, you still were being socially aware and having empathy. And you were saying, listen, we might be essential, but we need to do this anyway. And I just noticed immediately all of the digital options he was giving potential buyers to see homes, and then options he was giving sellers who might be concerned about letting people into their house, even though, right, like another agent might be like, well, I don't need to do that because we're still essential, but you got to pay attention to what's going on around you in other areas. So you guys just pivoted really fast, right? Mm-hmm. And so when did you have that realization? Because it happened so quickly.
So I love Cece Underwood. She was talking about that mindset, and I can't agree with her more. And just being in the masterminds and talking to all you guys, and you did the same thing, Nick, too. I mean, you took it and all of a sudden just appeared in a stronger, brighter light than ever before, even though you've been extremely successful with, Lab Coat and all the other stuff. And this time, as Gary and Keith Cunningham talked about, crisis is exposure. That's I've carried that with me. During crisis, you have exposure to all the flaws of your business and all the successes of your business and the mindsets. And our team has a really good mindset. So your question was, when did you realize you had to pivot? And honestly, it starts with the mindset. So on day one, exactly like Cece Underwood was talking about, she said, no, I don't care. We're going to succeed. And I remember specifically saying, we're going to run as far into this tunnel as we can. At the time, we had absolutely no idea if there was going to be a light at the end of it. And I pretty much said, record this. I told everyone on a Zoom call, record this. Either we're going to make it and I get to tell you all I told you so, or we're all going to be dead. So, and I'm sorry, that might be funny, might not be funny, but it was a determined mindset and it had to be said by someone, and we're the leaders, so we had to say it. So the mindset then followed the action, and the action was, okay, we've all agreed we're going to kick butt and take market share, take mind share, be visible, be over communicate, all of those things. And even being here, I appreciate it. It's part of our plan. You were gracious enough to even ask me to be a part of this. But,
oh, please.
I know.
But Mike and I both got out there. We've been in local papers. We've been really trying to share our solutions with homeowners because it's an opportunity to help. When you look at it, not as an opportunity to sell, but as an opportunity to help, because we knew we had the technology. We knew we had the solutions. All we had to do was really, that was the hardest part, is turning a ship with 140 agents and a specific marketing plan that works to another marketing plan saying a different thing. No one wants to hear your number one. Everyone wants to hear you have a safe, thoughtful solution to sell their home. And I know we've talked about that already on here, so I don't want to beat that into the ground, but it's true.
I want to mention that real quick. And by the way, CC's like, I love you, get through it or die, laughing face.
She's gonna accept my friend request.
That's going on a t-shirt. I'm making it today, get through it or die. What I want to say about what you just said, people need to know you have a solution, right? And now I took that away from you when we did our webinar about video with Ken Posick and Jen Davis. And you said, you have to tell people you have a solution because solutions will get you the business. Dude, that stuck with me. And now when I'm teaching social media, I'm like, in your ad, you have to let people know in one sentence that you have a solution. And I think that that's actually absolutely brilliant, right? Because people want to work with people who have a plan. So
that's a definition of leadership, though, is that people need to know that you're looking out for the next steps. I mean, yeah.
Hey, Greg, I want to mention that whenever I talk to Greg, he never talks about himself. He's never like, I. He's always like, Nick, my agents would love this, or my agents need this, or my agents want to do this, right? It's always about them. It's never about him. And that is a takeaway that everyone could implement into their team. Like the other day in Lab Coat Agents, someone goes, my agents don't want to call leads. What do I do? And then everyone's like, fire them. And I go, hold on a second. This comes from the top. What are you not doing? And what expectations have you not set? Right. So Greg, talk to me about, when you developed that way of thinking, because I think a lot of people out there actually need to hear why that's so important.
Well, servant leadership is where that all comes from, and just being aware of it. Both my parents were educators and teachers, and I don't know. It's just, that's just how you are. If you assist and help others, it's, to me, it's common sense, but I'm always shocked at how many people are, it's that give or taker. Remember a family reunion, we went through that, and that was really sort of articulating feelings. But, obviously being servant leadership, that's a Kellerism as well. But really embracing it and trying to perfect that. But it's not like something you really should be working towards. You should just genuinely be trying to educate and help others. And I can't remember a time where I didn't succeed or get back or win because of, and I don't do it because of that. Otherwise you'd be a fraud, and that doesn't work either. So I don't know. You just got to wire yourself to care about others more than yourself. If you do it, your life's fine. Good things happen. And, if you want to be first, you got to be last. And that is so true. It is just so true. So my team and Mike and our team understands that we work for them. They don't work for us. And we say that in every interview. If they walk right out of they just got their license and they sit in front of us, they sit there and say, thank you so much for meeting with me. I said, let me help you understand. You're interviewing me. If I don't give you what you want, you will fire me. You will go to another team, you will go to another brokerage. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to work my butt off to help you succeed. And if I don't, then I've done something wrong, and I'll improve my systems and be better next time. And just that mindset's where we start, and then everything follows from that.
Well, you're teaching people how to lead by your behavior, by how you show up.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Can I touch on one important aspect of marketing that kind of hit me the other day, and I want to share it because I think it's important. Coca-Cola doesn't run an ad on TV one time, right? So you come up with this cool post and designs, and you're so proud of yourself, and it talks about your COVID-19 plan to sell your home, and you post it. That was 2 weeks ago, folks. Repost, over communicate weekly, if not maybe every other day if it's a good post, because think about what Coke does, Ford. I mean, follow the experts. We're not the experts, they are. So that's kind of a new one that I kind of hit me in the face, and I was like, wait a minute. Because what's happening is we were so early to a plan, as you'd mentioned, Nick, that other people now, our competitors who've been like our other companies and stuff, they've been sleeping, and they've come out and they're like, look, we have masks with our logo on it, or that's our plan, or whatever the plan is now all of a sudden. It's not a full blown, but anyway, I'm not to criticize.
No, I agree with you.
They're trying, but now they're throwing it out like they have a plan, and people forgot because I haven't re-advertised the focus. So don't forget to re-advertise. I think all of us have had some really good early adoption. So just remember that your competitors are now coming out, and if you're not talking louder than they are, they might look like they have the plan. You don't. That was sort of an aha I only had just a couple of days ago, and or maybe a week ago, and I really like that one. So sorry to get back on that one topic. I just want to miss that.
No, I think that's a good thing to remember, because we have to pay attention to what's going on. Like right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people with a lot of opinions, and I have opinions too. Obviously, I'm guilty of that. Believe me. But I think what it comes down to is, because we're a customer service based business, right? We have to be aware of what our customers are potentially thinking. It doesn't matter what we think, right? Like, oh, we heard a story. Maybe it was CC. Who was? I don't know if it was CC. Maybe it was somebody who said they had a home for sale, and the listing, the buyer agent came in, and there was a video. I think there was a security camera somewhere. That buyers were acting silly in the house, and they were laying down on the couch, and they were like rolling around on the bed and stuff like that. And this is right in the middle of COVID, and you just have to have empathy, right? You can't make fun of this, regardless of what you think or the severity of it. A lot of people are afraid, right? And so when you go into someone's house, you're their guest in their house. It doesn't matter if it's for sale. You're not in IKEA, right? You're not testing out furniture.
Well, it's not respectful at all.
No. But Greg, you have multiple teams, right? How many teams do you have now? 3, 2? Can't remember.
7.
Well, 6.
6 teams. I'm sorry, 6. Whoa, slow down, Greg. I'm really sorry. Okay. No, 6 teams. Oh. So what is that? Go ahead. No, I was a quick question, but go ahead.
People, it's funny for me. I say 6. Mike and I, we'll talk about what we've put together, and I always, when you're climbing, you're always looking up the ladder. So you don't really stop and say, look, 6. So you look up the ladder at the Ben Kennys and all these folks, and you just like, I got 6. We're trying. We're getting there.
No, you're good. Listen,
and you forget the other side of the coin. But yeah, so I don't mean to just say that, but yeah, so we have 6 teams.
So what I was going to ask was, how do you have mastermind meetings every day with each one of those teams, or is it once a week? What time is it? What's it look like? Because it's a lot of people, right? Because I know you probably have team leaders in each of those areas, but you have to also be in communication with them. What does it look like, and how do you schedule that out?
So it's actually been changing, because we do feel like we're like, if you looked at the tunnel that we walked into, it was pitch black, no end to it. Then there was a midpoint, and then I think we're just probably a couple yards past the midpoint of this, this experience, this COVID thing in Ohio, at least. Our governor is saying by the 20th we should have. So in the beginning, complete and total over communication, because we got to all remember how we felt on that day, and the next day, and the next day. And that needed to be really, really tight with your kids. When the thunderstorm's going on and the lightning's cracking, you pull them close, right? When it goes away, you can start to loosen up a bit and say, okay, now kids, get your butts outside and rake the yard, or whatever you got to do. So right now, we literally just made the decision to cut down our cadence from, for example, we had 2 leadership calls a week, right? Now we're down to 1 a week. We just made that change because quite frankly, we're selling a lot. Like everything's starting to open up, we're moving. So we'd rather be doing we call them RGA, revenue generating activities. If you're not doing something that's generating revenue and you're at work, what are you doing? There has to, so is it an RGA? Are we just like, we have a rule about no talking about like, just, I don't know. We try to have fun too, but anyway, so the cadence is
leave your problems at the door, Greg.
yes, right.
Right?
Absolutely.
The trouble tree.
Leave your ego and your problems at the door.
Everyone's got them. So
We'll get some stuff done. So that from a leadership standpoint, from a team meeting, we kept that exactly the same. Remember, we tried to keep everything as normal as possible because what we were doing was working. So we wanted to keep everything as normal with the obvious changes. So we have our team meeting every 2 weeks. We have our leadership meeting twice a week. We had a leadership coaching class at night at 6 o'clock twice a week. So one of our leaders would open it up to kind of like ask the leader a question, be a coach or an expansion team leader. And quite frankly, the most incredible thing that happened is having 6 different teams, but all part of the Easy Referral Network, right? All the teams had different like personalities. And with this, we all got together on Zoom and it's really melted us all together. I've never been closer to people in our Cincinnati office or Columbus office. And they've all got that home office DNA, which is really where all the success came from. It's that giver mentality, that servant leadership that really didn't exist as much as it does today because of this experience.
I love it. Hey, Greg, Caryn has to jump off because she has to run like a market center or something.
Hey, Greg, you have 6 teams. I have 6 locations, offices. So I am right there with you. So bring it together. So it was so nice to meet you. Tell Mike I said hi. I've known him for years, so I'm happy to meet the E of the Easy team.
Wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Caryn.
So, Greg, we're going to wrap up in a minute anyway. Yeah, but a lot of people don't know. Dude, when I went to visit you and I realized that EZ, the letter E and Z sales team stood for Erlanger and Zinicola, it was like mind equals blown. I was like, what? It's like the perfect combination. Were you guys sitting there like, should we call it the ZE sales? No,
so, my God. No, I know. I have the marketing background, and Mike is like an idea. He's got ideas that are just we'll whiteboard, and he threw this. We were at family reunion. We were in the lobby. He throws out, "What about the EZ sales team?" And I'm like, that is so cheesy. It's gonna work, and. Because remember, our average sale price, well, now it's 220, but in our city, it's about 180, 160 to 180, 160 at the time, average sale price. So that kitschy, memorable, top of mind, marketing, you want to be memorable. So all people do now is call us Easy Team, right? They just say easy or what? Oh, he's easy or they're easy or whatever. And then that's funny. And whatever, it doesn't matter. You said it, you remember it, just like Google. Let's all think, how silly is the name Google? Right? Makes no sense, but you remember it. And so that's how that came about. And it also we also didn't want to call it like one of our names because we're servant leaders. We want them to be this. We want the agents to be the rock stars. All we want to do is service them. So we didn't want it to be, that was our thing. And so, but we still wanted some application of our name so that it just worked.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Greg, what are you doing? We're going to wrap up in a second. But what's today look like for you?
Today was this is kind of like a big deal. You're
done. Awesome.
You're a big deal. Sleep. No. So today, well, like I said, I got one big focus, which I feel like I'm almost on day 2 of realization or of application of a plan for the Philly team. So my big focus is trying to, really create and lead Philly. If I can come up with a solution for our team, that'll spread through the market center and that'll spread the energy and the whole concept will spread quite frankly, through that whole city. And if there's anything I can, or we can do to help show them how they can do this, that's going to help homeowners who have to sell. Remember, these folks have to sell. So I guess I want to impart, be excited about where we are right now. Make one sentence that says, okay, I know that this is a crisis. This is really bad. Allow yourself to understand that people are losing their houses because their jobs have been furloughed or lost. So they have to sell their house, and don't feel like a vulture. Don't feel like, oh, I'm just this creepy salesperson. You have to understand you're helping them from foreclosure, from short sale. The quicker you get in there and help these people, the more you're doing what if I can say, God put you on this earth to do. So
Yeah.
do not look at it like, oh, I'm just going to circle around and improve my volume because I'm going to, jump on these houses. Don't be shy about this. Be aggressive about this. Be excited that you have the opportunity to help people.
And by the way,
Go ahead. No, that was it.
I was going to say, I like that because what I've been telling agents not to do is not to use, oh, I don't want to sell my house because I'm afraid of COVID as an objection handler, right? What you should be saying is, you know what, Mr. Mrs. Seller, I completely understand your concerns. They're perfectly valid. I just want to let you know what the market's doing right now. And if I show you those stats, then you can make, a rational decision on what's best for you. Because your job is, you're not a doctor, right? And you were in a previous life, great. But right now we're real estate agents, and your job should not be to talk someone into selling because of their concerns. Your job is just to say, I completely understand that. I'm going to show you what the market's doing, and people are selling and they are buying. So let me leave that information with you and let it ruminate. And then we can talk, tomorrow or the next day on what you want to do. Because I think people are saying, oh, it's not the right time because it's COVID and people are afraid to put their house on the market, which I think is actually untrue.
Yep.
They are still listing and selling. And the people who need to buy and need to sell right now, they need to buy and they need to sell right now. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's,
we're up 13% this April from last April. We're up in May over last May right now as well. So we did 25 million in April. This month we did 21 million last April. That's the whole referral network. But we were total lockdown. I mean, we had stay-at-home orders, except we were essential services. So to be fair to the non-essential states out there, I mean, we did have that window, that opening. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what happened is the market did go down, but the realtors sleeping on their couch right now and using this as an excuse to like hide or whatever, or, yes, no one's going to blame you for not being out there trying. No one's going to, but anyway, it went down by 40%. The market went down by 20. They went down by 40. Therefore we gained market share, mind share. And we did it in an extremely safe manner. We sold homes. Not a single person stepped foot in the home, and we sold it. And we did that through, obviously Matterport, video, all that.
Last month here in Independence Township, I believe listings were down 21%. And I actually firmly believe that a good part of the reason was because agents were just like, what? People aren't going to list their homes, right? I honestly think that was one of the main reasons. Agents took a step back, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, no one's going to do that. Anyway, Greg, listen, I love it. Rob Chubb just chimed in. Rob, he's the TL of the Northville Novi office in Michigan. He's a top 100 team leader. He's like, he needs to talk to you about a Novi Michigan expansion, Greg. Just saying, he's going to call you. Rob's a great guy. Mike Fern is in that office. It's a very productive office, so definitely talk to Rob.
And I do have mug envy every day, so I actually got my favorite mug. That was for you, since I love looking at all your different mugs that you throw up every
today I got a boring one, but I got my wife one for Mother's Day that says parenting style survival. Basically,
exactly. I love that. Yes. Yeah.
And then I got her this.
That's your thing.
I got her a mug from Target. It literally was the size of this book. I didn't know it was because I bought it online. But when they brought it to my car, it's literally the size of the book, and it says, "This mug is from my favorite child."
That's awesome.
So anyway, listen, I gotta run and you gotta run. Greg, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you taking the time. And always a good time talking to you. I always learn a lot, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this for everyone.
No, man, thanks. No problem, man. Thanks. I'll see you soon, man. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
All right, see ya.